I'm proud to be here today, standing in solidarity with our state leaders to assist in the relief efforts in the Philippines. Super Typhoon Haiyan / Yolanda, the most powerful storm ever recorded in human history, last weekend struck the Philippines, the country of my birth and my mother Cynthia's home country. Since then, I've been contacted by hundreds of friends and organizations asking how they can assist in the relief efforts. As the first and only Filipino-American state legislator in the history of California, I was motivated to convene this press conference to formally let the Filipino people know that California cares and will do everything within its power to help during the long healing process they are now facing. The state of California is uniquely affected by this tragedy. Our state is home to the largest Filipino-American population in the entire United States, as the speaker just mentioned. There are 1.5 million Filipino-Americans in California, representing 43% of the nation's entire Filipino-American population. Among Asian countries, the Philippines sent the most immigrants to the United States over the past decade. 53% of the Filipino population in the U.S. is foreign-born, and more than 27% of the foreign-born Filipino-American population entered the U.S. over just the past decade, so relatively recently. I say all this to say that there are more than 1 million Californians, including myself, my family, and my staff, who have close connections to and family in the Philippines. We have spent the last few days praying for loved ones and being emotionally rocked by the estimated death toll of unknown thousands. The hometown of my staffer's grandmother was directly hit by the typhoon in eastern Samar. And the entire family of another one of my staffers lives in the Philippines and has been touched by this tragedy. And I was born in Quezon City, just outside of Manila, and lived in the Philippines as a child. My mother spent her childhood and teen years in the Visayas, the area where the typhoon struck. As my Filipino brothers and sisters try to survive, locate their loved ones, and heal after this tragedy, I am encouraged that our country and the rest of the world are moved with empathy, concern, and a desire to help, and are turning those feelings into tremendous relief efforts. The purpose of today is to encourage every Californian to join those efforts. I request that everyone take a moment and consider supporting in one of the following ways. 1, support Gawad Kalinga USA, a nonprofit that aims to send 200,000 food packs for the victims. These food packs only cost $5 a piece and will allow typhoon victims the ability to feed a family of 4 for 3 days while they await help. You can find them online at gk-usa.org. 2, support the Registered Nurse Response Network, which has put out a global call for RN volunteers to help provide direct care in the Philippines. Roughly 20% of all RNs in California have Filipino heritage, and volunteers who speak Tagalog are needed the most. So if you or a registered nurse you know can aid our sisters and brothers in the Philippines, please sign up at bit.ly/rn2ph. When I first started making calls to other legislators to gauge their interest in a press conference, I was overwhelmed by the immediate and generous offers to help. It affirmed my faith in our state government to hear from the leadership of both houses, as well as the governor, who each offered their sincerest assistance to help in the effort. And I can't thank Speaker of the Assembly, John Perez, and Senate Pro Tem, Darrell Steinberg, enough for their support. So thank you so much for being here today and standing with me in this effort.
On behalf of the government and people of the Republic of the Philippines, and of my Consul General Marciano Painor, I would like to thank you so much for your efforts here in California towards providing relief for the Philippines. Our country is no stranger to natural disasters, but Typhoon Haiyan or Yolanda was so massive in scale from a standpoint of human and financial destruction. And so we are overwhelmed by the show of support from elected and appointed officials, from Speaker Perez, from Assembly Member Bonta, from Senator Steinberg. We really truly appreciate all these efforts that are being done to help our country. It is great to see that when we are in need, California's greatness, generosity, and leadership is without hesitation. Thank you very much from a grateful nation.
The epic destruction of Typhoon Haiyan not only tore through landscapes, flattened buildings, and cut short the lives of thousands, but it has also traumatized an entire country, which could have lasting effects on Filipinos for generations to come. This is the type of destruction and devastation most of us can barely comprehend and hopefully never will personally experience. It's not going to be easy for the hundreds of thousands affected to overcome this tragedy. However, I know firsthand the inner strength of my Filipino brothers and sisters and the resilience of their spirits. And with the help of the people of California, they will heal from this storm as well. Thank you to the leaders of our great state who expressed their heartfelt sentiments today, demonstrating that California not only sends its deepest sympathies to the people of the Philippines, but it will also be sending relief.